Am I starting talking? Okay. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name's Pearson Ezell, and I am going to be I'm upcoming senior here at Austin Peay. I'm a sports communication major with a minor in health science.
How you doing? My name is Mark Harrington. I'm going to my junior year of college here at Austin Peay. I have a concentration in corporate communications and a minor in marketing.
So today we're going to be talking to all y'all about the critical theory of communication within organizations.
Now, what is critical theory of communications in organizations? Here is well described by the University of Colorado professor Stanley Dietz as the belief that everyone will be significantly affected by a corporate policy should have a meaningful voice in the decision-making process. This idea is that corporations will not have all the power when it comes to decision-making within the company. Dietz views corporations as a political as well as an economic institution.
All right, so who is Professor Stanley Dietz? So Stanley Dietz is a professor at the University of Colorado Boulder, and then he's also the president of Interaction Design for Innovation LLC. And then while he was active as a professor at the University of Colorado in Boulder, he served as their director of the Center for the Study of Conflict, Collaboration, and Creative Governance in the Peace and Conflict Studies program. Dietz has written and co-written over 150 different published essays on organizations and decision making. And then he has also written many different books, including Leading Organizations Through Transitions, Managing Interpersonal Communication, and Democracy in an Age of Corporate Colonization.
Now, how does this theory work? The textbook describes this as more than 90% of mass media outlets, newspaper, broadcast cable, telephone, and satellite are owned by just a handful of corporations. A quote from Professor Dietz's website is his organizational change and community development work has primarily focused on developing more collaborative cultures and enhancing the communication skills necessary for making collaboration effective.
All right, so then we've got a few examples of the theory here. So Dietz discusses the importance of the theory in the fact that the easy assumption that whatever may be right for a company or an organization may not be right for everybody. So he uses, in the book, GM, so General Motors, as an example, talking about if they make a decision with the head of their company that might not be what's right for everybody. And then the next example could be whenever you're working for anybody, you could hear these phrases from the top of the food chain that might include, because I'm the boss, because I said so. If you don't like it, then you can quit, or it's my way or the highway. And obviously you might get some not so nice responses from your employees there. And then the last example that I have on here is treat others' opinions as valuable. Just because you may not agree with what somebody has to say, you need to at least let them know that they've been heard and that their opinion is, something that's there.
Correct. What I like about this theory is that it has everyone's voice to be heard. It is important to let people have a voice no matter their opinion. I like that their idea of believing that everyone will be significantly affected by a corporation policy should have a meaningful voice in the decision-making process. I also believe that power and voice should evenly distribute within the organization instead of being wigs, having the final say as well as the power, as well as all the power.
So then for my article, I chose an article that's titled Topics in Economic Theory 2. I just couldn't really figure out how to put a 2 Roman numeral on my computer. And then information and communication in organizations. This article was written by Inga Demon and Deso Slay. So I apologize, I probably didn't say those right. But then this article kind of presents the idea that there are three different people that are involved in communication. And those three people are the sender, the receiver, and the designer. And so the main idea I feel like that goes with that is that ABC conversations don't really work out the best for everybody. You know, you want to be able to have a nice flowing conversation and relationship there so that everybody kind of knows what's going on and they feel that their input is valued.
The article I chose was Critical Theory and Corporate Social Responsibility. These authors was a few of them: Andrew Crane, Dirk Matten, Abigail McWilliams, Jeremy Moon, and Donald Siegel. These are some of the things that came about with the article. Coming from its abstract, this article examines corporate social responsibility from the angle of critical theory. Not only are used, but it shapes corporate decisions in three different ways, which is Marina choices, routines, and reasoning process. This article focuses on ideology as a present of language embedded within values, along with routines and practices. It also later talks about corporate governance and the framework that encourages efficient resources and accountability. Lastly, it analyzes the theory of corporate social responsibility on levels that bring in a unified organization. And
All right. And then,
no,
you want to do the recap or I got the recap?
no, you got it.
Okay. So just to recap, again, Professor Stanley Dietz kind of stood by that belief that everybody who will be significantly affected by a corporate policy should have a meaningful voice in the decision-making process. And then I think this stat is pretty neat. More than 90% of the mass media outlets that include newspaper, broadcast, cable, telephone, and satellite are all owned by just a handful of corporations. The idea is that corporations will not have all the power when it comes to decision making within the company, which I feel like is pretty good. You know, get that democracy in there. And then finally, in conclusion, I think it's important for everybody to have a say in what goes on within organizations and companies, things like that.
And thank you for George.
And y'all have a great rest of your morning, evening, afternoon, whatever it is when you're watching this. Bye now.